Hello, I am Aaraf Islam and this is the alternative assessment for system analysis and design for the high fidelity mockup prototype. I am from team DevTroopers. So let's move on with the project. So now let's move on with the project overview. The overview was created based on report 1 or the phase 1 that we created for our system analysis and design course. So for this relation and study of this project, we had to interview and find out problems regarding an existing system of our stakeholder. Our stakeholder was Miss Mariantan, who is the senior HR executive at Technocom System. And her company was going through some problems recently, so we got to learn that from the interview that we did with her, and through asking multiple questions, and we got some answers regarding those problems and what was the situation back in the company. We got to learn about that. So we are gonna talk about that in this overview. So the problem that mainly Miss Marian's team was facing was that the HR team who were recruiting new candidate for the company, so they were mainly following the traditional method of hiring as a candidate. So they were going through like pen and papers and making enrollment manually. For that reason, they had to face various problems in various steps of their system and functioning. So here the what was the current situation of the company for hiring method? So here was the when the applicant applied for the position, the HR group would go for a screening of the resume and choose the best candidate among that, and then the applicants who match their qualifications and are then invited for the interview further on. But the shortlisted candidates must also fill out a PDF job application form, which was way too traditional for this century. So and had to prepare a resume manually at the same time. So and all these documents and scanned copies of various documentation was sent for PDF verification, and then the interview was scheduled after the verification, and the recruiting panel in charge of rejecting and accepting the new candidates had to choose the interviewees. So, based on this, when the someone from the HR panel was absent for the further confirmation or screening, if the thing was not done in time, one of the applicant had to suffer for that. And for this reason, they had to hire more manpower, which cost them a lot of time uh, and other feasibilities. So for this we did for these particular problems we did an interview with Miss Marian Tan for based on the current system, and we pointed out the flaws and had a deep discussion with her regarding that on her company. And eventually we after the interview, me and my team dev troopers decided to break down the whole thing of the current overview and create a new system known as the e-recruitment system. And we analyzed it, break down the whole new plan of based on the current system and the new system that we want to follow or create. So and what was the company lacking now, and what are the updates that are to be made was discussed and analyzed. So here on the right side, we can see that we have created a UI design, UI prototype design for the new updated system that we want to create and for the company. So here was the I got a different module for as it was a group work, so I got to choose a module from the whole work, and this was the part of my module and the UI system. So next is the physical DFD diagram that we created for our planning and our system that we want to suggest and create. So here in the physical DFD, we have four particular individual tasks that had to go through for that the interviewees have to go through, and it's a fully automated process except the part three, that the checked arrangement of the interviewee, because it cannot be done automatically or automated way then the forgery or malpractice would occur. So for that and all the process regarding that, where the database will store the data and when will it provide and the next step, and everything was shown in this physical DFD diagram of ours. So I was giving module 4 for from the physical DFD that we created as a team. So here in module 4, I got to work on the last step, which was completing the interview evaluation and confirming it, and then providing the job offer letter to the interviewee or the selected candidates for the position of the company. So for the module that was provided to me, I had to draw child diagram so that I can show you guys how the whole functioning of the system works, and the system that we are going to provide by creating a high fidelity mockup prototype is shown as a breakdown here. So uh, my module is the last step of the whole system. So here I got a database of the interview results from the previous interview session that was done manually. So after that, the interview result of all the candidates are checked by and are rechecked in the same time. So after that, it's being stored in the database again. So after that, the confirmation of the candidate separation takes place. So here the records are being saved and separated. So at first, the applicants who were rejected, their IDs get deleted in the system so that their files doesn't cause any hindrance in the further establishment. So after that, the saved applicants or the selected applicants, they are sent over for the vacant positions that are being offered based on their qualifications. So after that, the applicant positions, after selecting the applicant positions by the selected applicants, so the status of them is updated and saved in the system and on the database. So after that, automated mail is being sent to the HR committee and they finalize it and forwards another mail of selection and completion of the employee as a staff of that company and save that applicant profile. After that, the generating of the offer letter is being held, where the offer letter is also generated automatically, not primitively like it was happening in the system before. So after the offer letter is being generated, it's been saved again and sent for later purposes to the applicant. So for this part, we are going to discuss about the process specification of the current module of the system. So for this process specification, we followed structured English, and in fact, for the whole module of the every other modules of the system, we use the same principle. So here, for we showed the process specification for both the user and the system that are taking place following the principle of structure principle. So yeah, that's it. So for this module, we prepared a high fidelity mockup prototype. So here we can see that the workflow that takes place between the each and every part of the application or prototype that we created, and from one place to another, from one component to another, how the workflow occurs and takes place, and how the system runs is shown here through a proper workflow between each and every UI designs. So for showing the prototype functionality, we created a, a running prototype that will be shown here and explain that how it works and how it moves from one page to another and how the process are taken place based on the physical DFD2B system that we created earlier for our module. So here we can see is the home page. So from where we are going to go to the rejected page first and then delete the user ID, and then the user status is going to be shown. And after that, if you want to view the result status, we if it's selected, then the process we proceed to the offer letter option and select the offered positions. And then if we can want to select another position, here is it is, and then we download the offer letter that was generated automatically. So here it shows successful and the employee information in the employee ID gets updated. So this way we can go back to the any page of the system or the prototype. So after that, if we want to go from any page, we can check in the taskbar in the below, and this way we'll be able to see the functioning of the whole system. Thank you. So for the reflection, we can say that for achieving this far, for giving this individual assessment, we had to attain a lot of new skills and got to learn from this course that were taught to us by our lecturer, and all the relating phases that we done previously that concluded to this particular individual assessment, and we were able to create a successful prototype and a system for Miss Marian Tan and her company that used to follow the traditional process before, and we fully created an automated system for the company for the recruiting procedures of the company. So here, after at first we got to combinedly work with a team who were, and I must say that the whole team was really had to work really hard for attaining this, and at the same time all of them work relentlessly to attain this outcome. So we got the chance to attain skills like planning, testing, pre-build up, and analyzing a current system that was provided to us. And after that, we got to learn some skills for making a proper functional high fidelity prototype based on a primary idea and mapping of a demo system. So we got to learn making DFD diagrams and mapping out the project based on the system. So my suggestion will be for regarding the topic in this company is that it needs to add more automated system based on the individual features of the system functionality. So for this reason, time consumption will be saved along with a healthy and efficient system buildup will be done. So for this reason, there will be no requirement for extra manpower, which might cause financial hindrance or instability for the company. So I hope this suggestion will help the stakeholder, and the contribution that we made for this final outcome surely makes us happy and feel validated for future prosperity. Thank you.